In theory, this thing, it works. Who knows? It's a magical thing. We'll make it up as we go along. Yay! And then I remember to turn the lights on so you can see something, 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 Printables. There's not a theme tune. I've still not made a theme tune. Oh, yay, chat disconnected. But you know what hasn't disconnected? My love for you all. Hello. Welcome to... Is this really episode 16? Episode 16 of the PrusABlok Mini 3D printer made from 3D printing specific construction toy called Printables. Welcome. Hello, everybody. This chat disconnecting is going to throw me off on today's nonsense. But what can you do about it? What can we do? Not a lot. Because, hey, you know, hello, time appropriate welcomings to you all. It is Tuesday. It is 21:35 British summertime, which is 22:35 Central European summertime, which is 4:35 p.m. US Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Texas, and then 2:30 p.m. in Mountain, I think. I'm getting the hang of these time zones. And then daylight savings is going to happen, and it's just going to ruin everything. Unless things happen where daylight savings stops existing. But what hasn't stopped it existing is a PrusABlok printer, which is currently sat on the shelf where it belongs. Although the camera is slightly off. Let's adjust. There we go. So we've got one full view of the PrusABlok, although we've got a view of the bed of the PrusABlok. Yeah. So, hello everybody. And for some reason, yes, this chat saying disconnected, reconnected, disconnected, reconnected. I have no idea what it is, why it keeps occurring. My face is not back on the screen. Yes. So, let's start a print at the start of the stream. Let's do a chat disconnected. Let's do a Gigantoblock base block, and then we can check in on it throughout the stream as we organize the build plates. So let's do that. Let us do that. That is the wrong Prusa slicer. Well, that's the right Prusa slicer because it's the one I'm going to want in a minute or 5. Slicer, window capture, this one. And then I want it to be that one. Okay, transition. There we go. Hi, Cragord. Yes, I know, Alex. I don't know what to do. I genuinely don't know why this is happening. All I know is it's throwing me off. But that's fine. That is fine. I say it's fine. It's not fine. It's tiresome, but there's not a lot that can be done. Right. Get rid of that. Let us bring in Old Faithful, a Gigantoblock. Let's slice it and send it. Or do we print something bigger? Have you tried turning it off and on again? Yes. Okay, so that's an hour and a half. That'll do. Let's not print anything too big. Let's... Am I even... Oh, I'm signed out of Prusa Connect. Gosh darn it. Hopefully, yeah, you can't see that. That's fine. It's time to go play red light, green light. Okay. How does one play red light, green light? Is it like playing the Get Run Over game? because I've got a high score at the Get Run Over game. I've still not been run over, so I think that counts as the high score, right? $2FA. If you don't have 2FA enabled on your accounts, get 2FA enabled on your accounts. It's a pain in the backside, but it's worth it. Worked 14.5 hours yesterday. You are sleepy. Ooh, please, if you haven't drank coffee before you start driving, please drink coffee before you start driving. Assuming that coffee doesn't make you sleepy. Let me just check. Print settings, layers and perimeters, speed. First layer speed because, you know, I'm just going to slow that down to 20 because I like prints to finish. Slice now. 2FA doesn't prevent session hijacking attacks. I know it doesn't, but it's still useful. It's still useful for the low-hanging fruit, which is people just shoulder surfing and looking at reflections as you type in passwords. Chat disconnected. Chat reconnected. What shall we do? I am going to modify this scene for a brief moment, and I am going to add in the video for the, where is it? Video capture device. I'm going to add in the top-down camera that is currently the PrusABlok camera, and going to put it up here. There we go. Because nobody looks in that top corner. Transition. There we go. Now we've got. Now we have got the printer where you can see it up here as it prints throughout today's stream. And I will add it to the scene for Tinkercad, and then you can see it there too. As we go and export parts from Tinkercad, import parts into PrusASlicer, and carry on getting our plates set to hopefully today get it uploaded on, well, to start drafting the PrusASlicer, not PrusASlicer, the Printables page for it. Hopefully. Where has... There it is. Although, really, I shouldn't be... Yeah, I'm not. That is really resonating the shelf. That is really loud. But I didn't leave myself much room. So I can't actually put the sponge feet beneath it. Oh well. Okay. Let's quickly check that we've got the right PrusASlicer window now. This is the correct PrusASlicer window. Ooh. 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 Okay, that's fine. I don't know why it just clunked, but it just clunked. But it seems fine. There we go. There we go. Right. There we are, there we are. Okay. So, the thing that I came to the conclusion of after last week's stream and faffing about I'm going to use the word faffing. Where is... Look. MS Edge, designing the disaster. Because that's the Tinkercad project. The conclusion that I came to was with these motor blocks. The half block, it's not just you. I got disconnected too. Okay. The conclusion I came to with these half blocks, this half block offset, is that the belt is too low or the belt is too stretched. So when the bed is homing, it was managing to pull the half blocked style motor block holder off. So that one's useless. Which takes us back to the full block Z-shaped block. The full block Z motor block. Now, this one, height-wise, spot on. It's not too high for the physical motor. The motor itself is not too high and crashing into anything. What is crashing into it is how far left to right it is. As you're looking at the front of the printer, it's too far to the left. So the belt holder is crashing into it. I offset it with 2 nuts. So the motor is currently only attached by 2 nuts, but that means that we can add the shim in. And there we go. So what this means is we get to modify it a little bit and take a little bit of height off of this block, which means a little bit of height. How thick is one of the hex nuts? Do I have any hex nuts left? I did not put every hardware component back. So it's on the desk. So I can find my calipers and measure the hex nut. The hex nut's thickness is 2.8. 2.4. 2.4 or 2.8. So what that says to me is we just make the height 40. Move it down by 1, then make it 40, and that should be correct. Because I think I could be wrong. I think I placed it on top of the connector holes of the base. So let's move you and confirm. Make you solid for a moment and focus in. No. Okay. How thick did I make it? How thick did I make it? Can I put a ruler? Wall on this surface, place a ruler. I hate using rulers because they are just really confusing. 4.75? So if I make that box 40, 4.75, height 40, it should still be 4.75. Okay, yeah, it is. It is. All right. Hole, move you back. There we go. And that is now the revised motor block holder. Once again. Really arduous nonsense that I'm definitely showing on camera. Oh yeah, I need to adjust this vertically to get the cutout still. Sorry, so much of this motor block is arbitrary cutouts. Like, we've got the cutout, the big cutout piece, so that we take off the top so that it doesn't interfere. Now, arguably, we could keep, I believe we could keep the back. I believe we could keep the back of it. So that would be take it up in terms of height. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So something like that, I think. But we're not using the connectors on the back, so we don't need to. So let's keep it like this. Let's keep the motor block as it stands now, because we know it works. If anything, though, let's... Did I resize that purposefully to 70 by 70? No. I want to delete that. No, hang on. Resize you down to 20. And then make the width 54 to make it back to what it was. No, 20. Length 54. And it aligns with this surface. There we go. And then height 67. Make you 20. Height back to 67. No. Width. Yeah. Shove you back up. And height is actually 42, but it's not. But it now is. Right, where does this cutout end? It ends at these holes here. When I say these holes, I mean this set of, this screw hole is where it ends. So now I can add the curve back, which is the only thing I wanted to add just there, because hey, in keeping with the themes of Radius 1, Steps 1. Okay, maybe not there. Maybe it doesn't go there. Maybe it goes just a little bit further across, somewhere in the middle. Group. Let's have a gander. That's more like it. There's no stupid bump. Yeah. So we've added the thickness back in. I hope it's the right amount of thickness. We can print it and find out. Or I can print it and find out and tell you next time. And tell you, because it's going to take longer to print than today's episode. Yeah. This chat disconnect is really annoying. Really? What can we do? What can we do? I mean, there are six of you watching right now, apparently. You know, if you wanted to like it so that I could actually see that you're actually here, that would be great. Because I can't see the chat. Okay. So that's that block revised. you know what I've not actually looked at in the last 5 or so minutes? I've not actually looked at the top-down camera. We have got some warp going on. Oh. That is some really bad warpage. That is really bad. Ugh. Okay. Well, I'm leaving it. Let's go into PrusABlok and let's get rid of that motor block and let's bring in the new one. Wherever my file explorer's gone. There it is. Downloads, designing the disaster, the new motor block. Arrange the plate. And then we need to add in supports. So add support enforcer box. And then we scale it. Scale it. Shrink it down again. I keep forgetting the key, not the keybinds, the mouse controls. Okay, let's slice this plate and just see if the supports turn up. They probably will, and then we get to work out how to correctly position them. Yes, nice. So, supports on build plate only, and then we change the support type. So change type to support enforcer. How do we... Well, I guess it's going to have to be project as a whole. Support is support material, and then we make it grid style organic platter slice now, and that should support on build plate only, and that should give us no support enforcers only slice. that's the wrong type of support. We don't need organic support everywhere, we just need it for the top bit, which hopefully... No, it's too much. Okay. Shuffle you back a bit. How are we looking? We're not touching there. I need to scale you down a bit more. Scale you down, move you over. Somebody else move their head around when they're trying to view in the slicer. Nope. There. So that shouldn't be... Oh, there's loads of room. Oh, nope. Oh, goodness sake. Right. Go somewhere here. And then we can make sure that at the front, we're not in the connector holes. At the side, we're not in the connector holes. That edge there, we're not in the connector holes. That means that when we have a look at the support materials now, it should only be doing the top surface. So let's find out. Is it going to be doing what we want it to do? Mostly? I guess we need to add a support blocker now. Maybe. Hold on. Have I got a lip? You're just there on that outside edge. Why are you just there on the outside edge? Go away. I only need you there. In fact, scale you, move you, drag you up, kicking and screaming, scale you back down again. Supports for support enforcers only. If I slice you now, are you going to generate anything or are you not? One way to find out. And you do. You do generate floating in midair. Okay. So I guess we move you down a bit more. Except I'm doing it wrong. Move. No. Put you back. Move, go down. I just want it to touch that top surface. There we go, slice. Let's have a look. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. That amount of support works for me. So there we go. Ta-da! We've not got any arbitrary support being generated inside the connector hole, so we don't need to worry about that. Yeah, I would say that's fine. That's fine. Because we've got the support that we need for the top edge, the inside of the top edge. Alrighty then. Let's have a look around the rest of the pieces. Does anything else need support adding? Where is this one? Did we sort the support on this one? Yes, we did. That's good. How is the PrusABlok looking? That is still all kinds of warpy. Yeah. All right, carry on. So that's that. Oh, there's an extra plate there. That shouldn't be there. Let's move you onto a different panel, sorry. Arrange. And arrange. Arrange you. You're fine. Oop. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. I like this one. Plate number 9 is good. Plate number 8 looks fine to me, as does plate number 7. So, in that case, I need to rename you to PrusABlok Mini Y motor holder .stl. Oh, that was it. On the underside of the motor holder, there needs to be now a 2x3x1 block instead of a 2x3x1 panel. Panel. So let's go to the professor's Printables page. If that loads, which is probably not going to, because why would it? Why would it load? Completing security verifications. Okay. Am I back? Yes, I'm back. Okay. And now chat loads a bit. Wow. Did you show the print? No, I didn't show the print, actually. Where did I put the print? Sorry, Joe. Completely forgot to show the print. Which camera is it? This one. This one. You can see all the debris of all the prints that I tried to do during the day. But that's fine. So the print. Boop, 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 boop. There we are. That, to me, is a perfectly serviceable printer block. If it focuses. Printed on the PrusABlok Mini. It snaps together. It's square. And as far as I can tell, it's dimensionally accurate, and I've not actually measured it. So I should do that. (16.2) on the Z. 15.8 on one of the directions, and then 16.0, 16 on the Z. No, 16 on one of the X or Ys. 15.8 on the other, but the belts were loose. And then 16.2 on the Z. But, you know, it snaps together. You know, they snap. And this piece isn't square anyway, so let's get a different one. Let's put them on this. Yeah, there's a bit of a discrepancy there. But you know what? That can be fixed. That difference on the, I'm going to assume X, is fixable. Because I didn't tension the X-axis. I forgot. I forgot to retension the X-axis. That is the wrong Prusa slicer window. Let's get the right one. This one, and then we need the PrusABlok Mini. Wherever it's gone. Prusa slicer, PrusABlok Mini. There we are. Have a quick check-in with the PrusABlok printer. It's still going. It's still warped, but it's still going. Looks good though. Looks good though. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-doop. Doop. Right then. Right then, right then, right then, right then. What else do we need? Oh yeah, the 2x1. The 2x3x1. 2x3x1 in downloads folder. 2x3x1. There it is. Drag it in. And which plate does it need to go on? Not the Z block. Let's put it on this plate here. Plate number 1. And arrange it so that people can be more confident that it will print. Rotate it as well. No, not that way. Need to rotate it along the y-axis. There we are. And there we are. So a 2x3x1 that goes underneath the motor block. Good. Electronics enclosure. I want to say I think that's it. I really do. I really want to say that's it for all the pieces. I feel like I'm missing some. But as with everything, I always feel like I'm missing something. As for what that something is, who knows? Who knows? The Z-axis support block, Z-axis itself, you know, we've got a 1x4, an L, the support block, the motor block, the rod holder, the motor block for the top of the Z. So Z base, Z top, Z support, Zness, a 1x3. Is there a 1x3 on here? Are there any 1x3s? Yeah, there's one. Did I use 1 or 2? I should have taken pictures. One 1x3. I guess the only thing I can do is, you know, assume that I've got all the pieces and then print it again. Is that the answer? Is it the answer that all I can do is print it again? I guess it might be. Oh, this is going to take a while. This is going to take a while. How long is it going to take? There's 9 plates, the 3 Prusa Minis that are currently printing. So let's slice all the plates and let's just see how long this is going to take. Uh, 3 days? 3 days is my guess. If it is 3 days, I'll be all right. because it would be... Yeah, it'd be quite fun, actually. That would be fun. It'd be nuts, but it'll be fun. Do I have enough Prussiament? That is a good question. I have a reasonable amount of Prussiament. Found my purple again. I've got some leftover Prussian orange, the Galaxy red, some green, some blue, currently printing in pink, as we can see. I've run out of one, which was the pineapple yellow I've run out of now. That's fine. Come on, how long is it going to take? How long will it take? Statistics will be available once all beds are sliced. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Is it doing supports now? No, just says generating G-code. Okay. And then we build another. No, I'm not going to be replacing all of my Prusa Minis with PrusABlok printers. Even though it would be fun. I'm not doing it all in purple. I know it takes more than a kilo. Well, it takes about a kilo, actually. I think this one would just be a case of print it and validate that we've got all the parts that we need to make the frame itself. Because blue polka dot. You would do blue polka dot by printing out layer change panels. Like the sponsor blocks, you would do a layer change panel piece, and then you would cover the whole printer in polka dot. There you go. Come on, hurry up and generate the G-code. We're waiting. We're waiting. Generating infill. Oh, come on. Galaxy red. Just a straight Galaxy red PrusABlok. Could do. What accent pieces, though? Why does the x-axis look low on one side? Am I wrong? Am I wrong here? It looks like it's low on one of the sides. Or is that just the camera? I think it might just be the camera. I also feel like I probably should have restarted the print to get that first layer back. But at the same time, I want to do a full print on stream, but not just base blocks. I want to do a bigger print than just a base block. Come on, Prusa Slicer, hurry up. So how are you doing today, Monsieur Cragord? How is the other Doug? How is the other Doug getting on? I just thought, like, if you're the other Doug, are we talking like the Coraline other Doug, where you've got buttons for eyes? Is that what we're talking here? Or am I the one with buttons for eyes? That's a weird thought. You're building a dummy 13 at the moment. Nice. Hopefully not while sat in traffic. Or sat at traffic lights building a dummy 13. That would be... I would argue that would be irresponsible. Oh, good. I'm glad you're home. That's good. Hmm. What can we do while we're waiting for this to finish slicing? Uh-oh. PrusABlok has encountered an error caused by running out of memory. No. No. Close everything else. I don't want to lose this. Oh. That's the last thing I needed. How have I run out of memory? How did I run out of memory? I suppose that might explain why OBS crashed earlier. That sucks. That sucks a lot. Alright, let's reopen PrusABlok and hope that it recovers the project. Please, that'd be great. Come on, please recover it. No, I don't want to download. File. Recent. PrusABlok Mini. Oh dear. Yep. That has lost all of the changes that we made in the last one. Let me transition it back in OBS. Because that sucks. We lost all of our changes. And this is what happens when you don't save your files. The problem is, I don't entirely remember. I don't entirely remember all of the changes that were made. Because I'm silly. Yeah. Great. Great. Good job, Doug. Good job. Good job. Let's start with the easy ones. let's start with the easy ones. We can electronics enclosure goes bye-byes because we know we can visibly see that it's obviously wrong. We know that this one's wrong. The Z mini carriage front. Z mini carriage front. Drag that in. Rotate. Let's get the support materials added back in. Whoops. Let's get the supports added back because we know we need them. Add support material, support enforcer, cylinder. No. And then, whoa, okay. Slow down. Position U, scale, not rotate, scale. Scale you out a bit. Position you in the middle, and then let's move ourselves somewhere we can see. There we are. We can kind of see here. But let's rotate so that we actually can. Doot, 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 doot. Move you down. And what we just discovered is that we don't actually need to switch the build plate. So slice now, support enforcers only. And let's hope that it does. There we are. Supports for the underside, there we go. Nice. So what else we can do is we can take out this rod holder. Mini right rear rod holder. And then find another rod holder, which is here. Mini right front rod holder. There we go. Mini left rod holder. Shove you onto that build plate. Mini left side rod holder. No, so we need two of that. And then we find another build plate to shove it onto. Let's go for this one with the electronics enclosure. And then we need to mirror it because we know that it needs mirroring along the X. Place you there. Okay, so get rid of that rod holder. There should be another one around here somewhere. That one goes bye-byes. Right. Motor block goes bye-byes. Mini Y motor holder. In you come. Okay, add support enforcer box. Drag it to somewhere here. Zoom in. Move up. And then we need scale. Something like that. Scale down. Is that gonna work? Let's slice the plate. And let's have a check. Slice the plate. Oh wait, I changed it to tree. Oh, can I change it per object? That's not something I actually checked. Can I change the support type for this single object? Or is it going to do both? I'm guessing it's going to do both. Support material. Change it to organic. Organic. And then we need to, what we're going to have to do is check in. Not check in. Check on the Z carriage front and see if that's messed up that one. Right, slice you. No, I said slice. Because if this gets changed to organic, I don't actually know how it will work. Well, that looks odd. That looks really odd. I suppose it's doing that. Oh, what on earth are you doing? That looks so weird. So weird. Also, you don't need to exist in the middle. So, I guess, see if we can grab this generic box and move it down. Like, no, don't move there. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it needs moving down to 3.2. Okay. Generic box move. Actually, let's try. Can I get it to snugly fit there? Maybe. Who knows? Did that print just attach? No, it didn't. Nice. Very nice. Okay, so it's not touching. What's going on? What's going on? Doopy-doopy-doopy-doo. Are you there now? Or are you... No, too far down. See, I know you're in there now. That's not too bad. Can I be bothered to fix those 2 layers? No. Not right now. Let's get back to attempting to win at this. We need to replace a 1x4 with a Tetronimo L, because otherwise the face is too weak. I say the face, the the y-axis warps if we don't have it. So let's do this. Put you there. There we go. Oh, the mini knob. Let's drag the mini knob in. Mini knob. There it is. And that went onto that build plate. Oh, what's it called? The 5x8 panel got replaced with the electronics enclosure lid. Electronics enclosure lid. So drag you on there. Very nice. The Y idler got updated. So let's drag you in. Y idler. There we go. The X idler got updated because otherwise it was an interference with the X carriage. For some reason you go over here. The Z base got updated. Mini Z bottom. Rotate 90. No, I said rotate 90. There we are. So that's good. And then it was like a bunch of panels and updated 2x11s. So 142x7 panel. Because we needed that. And then it was a 2x something, 2x9x9, 2x9x1. Got dragged in as well. One moment, please. Okay. Again, I'm just annoyed that I didn't save the project, so I don't know what changes I made. But that's fine. That's fine, because I can always go back and watch Thursday's stream to figure it out. How is the print doing? It's a good question. The print is looking print-like with a massive warp. An absolutely massive warp. But that's fine. That's fine. This one, take it back to here. That's fine. We can deal with a cosmetic warp. Thing is, the block will still be functional. Speaking of functional, there's apparently 5 of you watching right now. Last time it updated. How is everybody getting on? Are we winning? Because I have no idea if we're winning. 1 by 2. Have I replaced all of those pieces with those pieces? 1 by... So a 2 by 3 block, because we know we need a 2 by 3 block for the motor block, so that can't go on the motor block plate, it's got to go on a different plate. Let's place it flat, and then rotate it. No! There we are. Is there arrange selection on current bed? Is that the one? That's the one, yes. What else is there? What else is there? I know I need a bunch of 2 by 3 panels. So 2 by 3 panel. But I can't remember how many. So there's 2 for... Yeah, there's 2 for the Z-rod holders on the left. There's 1 for the screen block. And then I think that's it. So let's just add another one, just to be safe. Because hey, it doesn't hurt. Y rod holder, Z carriage front has been updated. Extruder I didn't update. We've got the knob. We've got 1, 2. Bunch of short blocks. We've got the 2 by whatever number. And then what else have we got? What else have we got? We've got the screen, electronics enclosure, 2 by whatever. The 2 by 11s for the y-axis. The updated Z bottom, Z tower bottom, updated motor holder, screen holder. I guess. So let's just save it once again. Again, I'm going to have to review this now. I'm going to have to print everything out. I say print. What I should do is, can I export everything as an STL? File, export plates, plate as STLs. That's the thing I don't know. Because if you export a plate as an STL, can you import a 3MF to Tinkercad? Let's find out. Because if we can import a 3MF into Tinkercad, we could just build this in Tinkercad. Or would it not be individual objects when it's imported? File, save project. I guess we find out. That's all we can do. Let's find out. What happens if we import everything? Let's import everything all of the time. Create a 3D design. No. We can import STL, OBJ, and SVG. That's unfortunate. I can save it as a 3MF or a 3MF. And that's it. That's it. Export plate as... Export the plate. What happens if I import the plate? Choose a file. The file's too big. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Okay, we can work with this. We can work with this. What does it mean? See, I thought I could export everything as an export the entire plate as a STL at once. Like, you know, I didn't transition back because you can select an individual object and you can export as STL. Does Orca Slicer let you? Export as STLs, plural. So am I going to have to? I'm going to have to load the 3MF inside of Orca Slicer and export everything as STLs, because then we get a project folder with every single STL in it, including multiple instances of said files that are then numbered. At which point I can import them all into Tinkercad, and then I can build the printer in Tinkercad once again to make sure, rather than physically print everything, even though physically printing everything would be fun. But again, that's a lot of filament. I say it's a lot of filament. I assume it's around 1 kilo because that's what it was the first time around. Even though there have been many revisions to the file since then. But that's fine. How far off are we being finished on this print? We are at 80%, about 15 minutes remaining. I think I am going to finish today's once that print finishes, because this is a lot of brain work. There's a lot of thinking involved in this one. Sorry. Also didn't sleep too well last night. So, I'm very yawny. A rocket? Why a rocket? I'm not blasting off. Go to bed. I'm going to go to bed. I'm not going to sit up until 2 o'clock in the morning again. I'm not that silly. I'm silly, but I'm not. I'm daft, but I'm not silly. Or I'm silly, but I'm not daft. Whichever way around it goes. I am one, not the other. That's it. I'm gonna let this print finish. Hopefully, I can export everything from Orca Slicer as as individual STLs. So let's try and do that now. Let's try and do that now as we check in on the print, which looks all right. I say it's a shame about that first layer warp, but we can live with that. PrusABlok Mini, drag you into here. Loading file, PrusABlok Mini.3mf. And you can't see anything because I didn't think about it. Window capture 4. Let's go to Orca Slicer. Not that one. Orca Slicer, not that one. The 3MF data, the 3MF is not supported by Orca Slicer loading geometry data only. That's fine by me. Orca Slicer. Transition. We are sitting at 96% CPU and 74% memory. Oh, I've only got 16 gigs. I thought I had 32 of DDR3, not DDR4 or 5. 67, 72, 75% CPU usage. Come on, Orca Slicer. It says it's loading. There we are. So in theory, I can select everything, and then I can export as STLs, and I can make a new folder. You can't see the folder, but I should be able to select the folder, and then Orca Slicer will save everything as an STL, at which point, when I find my file browser again, yep, that is all 48 items. You can't see it. That's a good point. Let's just do that. There you go. Whoop, 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 whoop. What has happened there? What has happened there? Hello, Orca Slicer. Where did you go? Where did you go, Orca Slicer? There we are. Although, equally, PrusASlicer is still sat at 90% and generating G-code. So that's fun. I'm not going to hit the slice button in Orca because, hey, only some of it's on the bed. Although, add a bunch of beds, select everything. Can we? Yes, we can. We can loosely line everything up to print off on a C1. Because that's kind of funny. One moment. I'm being pestered. But that's fine. I can deal with being pestered. Or can I deal with being pestered? You tell me, Cragord. Can I deal well with being pestered? Come on. I want to have a look at the print. I want to look at the print. I want to see what the actual quality is like. We are at, supposedly, what, 90% new? 89%. And it still says 7 minutes remaining. Okay, so PrusABlok has given us the answer. The survey says 1.152 kilos of filament. An estimated 3 days, 8 hours, 34 minutes and 58 seconds in stealth. Or 3 days, 3 hours, or 3 days, 4 hours in normal slicing mode. That's not bad. That's about what it took the first time around, I think, realistically. So, yes. I think that's pretty fun. And now that we've got the bundle of STLs exported, we can bring those into Tinkercad slowly. Oh, there's already a print knob on there. Oh wait, I'm modifying the wrong file. Take that print knob off. Get rid of that one. I can bring these into Tinkercad and then we can build it. Although you can only upload one file at a time, which destroys my brain. Oh boy. That's going to take a while. Let's transition once again so that we've got the right screen open. There we are. So this is my next piece to do. Just import a bunch of all of the files. And just one at a time, bring them in. Nope, not that one. Sorry. Sorry. Being asked questions by family. Kind of important. They want to know where things are. I'm like, I don't know, but I can tell you this. One file at a time. Here we go, Doug. Here we go. This is all. This is it. One file at a time. Unless. No, I'll just download it. So dragging and dropping into the Tinkercad browser window just turns it into you trying to download the file. Uh, 2x7, 1x4 Gigantoblock. There we are. I heard a click from the printer, and I don't like that I heard a click. Have we lost? Has it moved? Has it detached? Oh, it's detached from the bed. It detached from the bed. Oh. Cragord, it detached. That's it. The printer's mean. But overall, sorry, I'm going to show you on this camera. Overall, yeah, that first layer, yeah, we can see why it detached. That looks horrific as a first layer. Can't actually see it very well. Let's bring it to this camera. There we are. That's a bad first layer. There's no three ways around that. That's bad. That's why it warped. Okay. But outside of that, it looks all right. Right. That is not how I wanted to end today's stream. But we've had consistent chat disconnects. It's been a challenge of a stream. But you know what? That's what Thursday is for. That is what Thursday is for. I did not transition the shot, so you saw none of that. Okay. The first layer is terrible. That's just absolutely terrible. But the sides look like there's not much in the way of ringing on them. So that looks all right. But again, first layer issue. That's why it didn't stick. As I say, we've had several issues on this one, but again, that's what Thursday's for. We can try again. We'll call this one a write-off. We'll try again with the files imported into Tinkercad this time around, and we can build the printer inside of Tinkercad, and we can work from that. We can confirm the number of files that we need. We can double check the build plate, and then hopefully get it up on Printables. Hopefully get it up on Printables. We'll see. We will see. But that's the plan. So, there we are. There we are for tonight. Thank you for those that have tuned in. Thank you for those who are watching the VOD on demand after the fact. If you've liked the video, you can always give it a like. If you didn't like the video, you can always share it with a friend and torture them. Because that's what we're good at. As for Thursday, that will be at 21:30 British Summer Time, which is 22:30 Central European summertime, which is 4:30 p.m. US Eastern, which is 3:30 p.m. in Texas, which is 2:30 p.m. in Mountain. So yeah. Thank you, Craiglord. I think it's rather evident that I'm tired, isn't it? I should have drank more coffee today. Oh well. I say, we can try again on Thursday. We can try again Thursday. Cheerio. Oh. Yeah. Technical difficulties. Lots of fun. Lots of fun.